All attachment is the root of suffering. Like, genuinely, if you look at most of your stress, your overthinking, your emotional highs and lows, it usually comes back to one thing. You're holding on to something too tightly. Whether it's a person, a plan, or a specific desired outcome, it could be absolutely anything. But the irony of all of this is that the moment you detach from it, like you really emotionally let it go, that is when everything actually shifts. That's when you feel lighter. That's when things will flow to you and you can actually create what you want. So today I just want to sit here and I just want to talk to you. There's no big structure. There's no heavy like spiritual language. It's just a conversation between you and me around detachment and why it's probably the most powerful thing that I've ever done and you can do for your peace, your energy, and honestly, your entire life. I think a lot of people hear the word detach and they instantly think, oh, so that person just stops caring. But no, it's just that you stop clinging to an idea. There is a difference. Detachment is not about being cold or passive. It's about being easy in life. Because when you're easy, you're in ease. You're not constantly asking, when is it coming? You're not micromanaging the universe. You're not trying to control how it happens or who gives it to you or whether you're even good enough for it. You're just existing purely in a state of what's meant for me is already mine and I don't need to go grab it. Attachment feels so heavy because it's basically saying that I'm not okay unless I get this one thing. It turns a desire into a condition for your happiness. It creates this internal tension, this weird anxious energy that says that if I don't get this, I'm behind in life. I'm not worthy. Something's wrong with me. And what's wild is that most of the time I've noticed is that we don't even want that thing. We just want the feeling we think it's gonna give us. We want the job because we think we'll feel safe. We want the relationship for the love, to feel that. We want the success for just that external validation. But when you get attached too tightly to a specific outcome, you forget that the feeling that you want can exist in you before the thing even shows up. Here's what I've learned and I want to teach you is that when you're detached, you're not passive, you're grounded. You're rooted in the belief that the universe knows what it's doing. And it's not about sitting on the floor and doing nothing with your life, like being like whatever's meant to be will be. No, it's about taking action from a place of calm and not panic. It's about showing up for your goals, your vision, your future, but not letting it define you in the meantime. And you know who moves like that in life? Someone who's not operating from lack, someone who's not operating from fear, someone who trusts that what's meant for them will not at any circumstance miss them. And when you move from that energy, you're not acting desperate. You're not constantly checking your phone. You're just being in a state of being. And that state of being, that ease that you're in, that present moment that you live is exactly what makes you magnetic to everything in the universe. And detachment doesn't mean that you stop caring about the person you're dating, the person you're with. It means that your entire mood and your entire day doesn't crash when they take a little longer to reply because you trust your value either way. It doesn't mean that you stop setting goals. It means that you're not broken if it doesn't happen the way you think it will or in the exact timeline, because you trust your life's timeline is just one version of what can happen and life has something bigger mapped out for you. It's not about not feeling. It's about not spiraling in that feeling. It's about being okay even when things don't go how you pictured them to go. You need to fundamentally understand that the more you detach, the faster you receive. I know it's a bit backward, but it's true, because when you stop begging for something, you stop blocking it intentionally. When you're clinging to something so hard, you're radiating fear, doubt, and control. That's all you're giving out. And that energy will literally give you that back. It will give you fear, doubt, and control back. And that energy will literally push all of those things away that you want. It creates a tension in your body, in your mind, in your nervous system, and in your energy field through all of this. But when you finally decide to let go, you create space. You create so much space for your energy to flow in a different way. You create flow. You open the door for the universe to surprise you. It's like that quote that we hear that you can't receive with clenched fists. You gotta open your hand up, you gotta loosen the grip to then receive something. And so let's get into the how. How are we gonna enter the space of being absolutely detached? Because detachment, I've realized, is not like a switch. I used to think it was that, but it's not. It's practice. It's a mindset. It's also a way of moving through life with a little intention, a little self-awareness, and a lot of self-trust. Do self-talk check-ins. Catch yourself in the moment. Ask, am I chasing this because I truly believe it's meant for me, or because I don't feel whole without this feeling in my life? There's such a big difference between moving from desire and moving from lack. Understand where you're moving from. One is expansive, one is in the energetic realm of receiving, and the other one is so suffocating, and people will feel that energy of you. And the moment that you're honest with yourself, when you do self check-ins about why you're clinging to this feeling, that's when you start to loosen the grip over it, because you're aware of your subconscious thoughts. Then you need to anchor into your present so hard. We always think that the next thing we get in life will make us feel better, but 99% of the time, if you ask anyone, the version of you who gets there still has the same brain, still feels the same way. So start noticing what's already here. What parts of life you're trying to manifest are already showing up in small ways. There are so many things you're living in now that you wanted at one point in your life. That's why they're here when you detached finally from them. What moments feel good now? The more you fall in love with the present, the less pressure you put on the outcome to rescue you. And then romanticize not knowing everything. And this one has changed everything for me. Instead of fearing the unknown all the time, I started embracing it more. Like, I don't know how things are gonna happen, because every time you think they're gonna happen a certain way, they don't, because again, you're blocking that path. But I know it will happen, and that's what's exciting. I don't need to really care about how it happens. And there's something so powerful about letting that need to know all the time go. Because when I realize is when I let that need to know go, life gives me such an unexpected way around things, and it comes to me in the most unexpected way. I'm sure a lot of you have noticed that as well. There's something so powerful about letting go of needing to know the exact route and trusting that you're gonna get there. Uncertainty doesn't have to mean chaos. It actually means so much magic in the quantum world's creation. And then once you do all of this, I want you to trust your timeline, right? Because no matter how you clench onto things, if they have to go, they will go. If they have to come, they'll come. If they have to stay, they'll stay. And I know this one can be hard when you're comparing with other people, getting the things they want in the timeline they decided, but you have to remind yourself that if it's not here yet, it's either not meant for me, or it's not ready for me to accept that yet, right? Like, even if you wanna hold $1 billion company, you need to be worthy of holding that. You need to understand the skills that you need in order to reach there. So you'll reach there one day, but you just need to be ready there. And that's not loss for you. That's actually a path that universe has decided, and that's protection, right? Like, things fall into place when you're ready for them to come, when they are ready for you to come as well. And the only way to not go crazy in the waiting season is to trust the timeline and to let go of the attachment of it. And then you want to visualize, like truly visualize and release. Visualize the releasing. Visualize, dream big, feel the version of you who already has all of that, but then let that go. So you're kind of teaching your brain that I can hold desires, but I can let them go as well. Take a long, deep breath, sit with yourself, meditate if you want, and literally send out your desire to the universe. Like, now I trust you, handle it. It's like you're making an order on Amazon Prime and you know it's gonna come, except you don't know when, but it's going to come. And then bring your focus back to the now, present. Drink your coffee, clean your space up, text your friend, go for a walk, do whatever. Put your energy back into your life that is today, that you're living, that you manifested at some point in your life. Live that, because if you're asking something from the universe and you're not going to live in that, and you're just going to always keep asking, why would the universe want to give you anything? Live with that present that you're in. Even if you feel like this is not something you manifested, understand that this is a journey to what you're manifesting, and be grateful for it. Because even if, like, again, if you would counterattack me and be like, my manifestations are not even here, why should I be grateful? But understand that you being in this space of now is actually how you can co-create your future from. Let me tell you something that I wish someone had told me earlier when I was choosing to detach, is that when you choose to detach, like, actually decide that you don't want to live in constant anxiety of how things will unfold. You're choosing to walk a completely different path than you've done in this life. And it's not always smooth, it will not always be linear, but it will be real. And before I get into the stages, I wanted to talk about the different stages we can have when we get into detachment. And before I get into the stages of detachment, I wanted to put this in because detachment can look like a lot of different stages. I still want to say this, that please don't wait until you as a person have hit rock bottom to start detaching from things, right? Don't wait until your relationship has reached the worst it can to detach from things. Don't wait until you're emotionally burnt out in life and numb to then detach. You don't have to wait for life to fall apart. I wouldn't wouldn't want that for you, and realize that you can loosen your grip right now when things are so good and when things are happy and nice, but you can also loosen the grip with detachment. I've seen this happen myself in people I love, where they only start surrendering when we're completely exhausted from trying to control things, and then they're just at rock bottom. But what if you don't have to reach that point to detach? What if you choose to detach now before things get heavy because you're so kind of clingy to the outcome? What if you stop living in survival mode all of the time and move into creation mode? Because when you're constantly chasing, controlling, gripping, you're not creating, you're just surviving. And what is the point of living life when you're always surviving? And life, the way it's actually meant to be lived, doesn't happen from that energy. So after this video, I want you to decide, I'm going to start detaching in a good way, in like a calm way, not to be passive, not to stop caring about things. You don't have to act cold. That's the opposite, honestly. But give yourself room to receive, to trust, and to breathe. And when you do that, when you commit to a different path in life, there's going to be so much resistance because you're so used to being attached. But it's a process. And here's what the process might look like. There are so many stages of detachment, so I wanted to break some of them down for you. And again, they will not come in a perfect order. You might bounce back and forth. You might feel 2 at once if you want, and you might go 3 steps back. But these are the phases you might move through when you're learning to let go of what you've clung on to so long. Stage number 1 is the clutch. This is the stage that you're likely in when you decide you need to detach. You're spiraling, or you're probably overthinking life. Your entire emotional state is tied to an outcome, which could be a message from a person. It could be a result in life. It could be some amount of numbers in your business, absolutely anything. And it could be as bizarre as literally a message. You feel anxious, you're on edge, like your happiness is waiting in someone else's hands. And deep down, you know that this is not sustainable. This is exactly why you're watching this video. This is usually the stage where you hit your energetic limit, where you go that I can't do this anymore. And then stage number 2 is where you reach the resistance part of it. Now, your mind wants something else, but your body is kind of forcing you to be attached, right? Because it's used to it. Now, even though you want to detach, you've decided, your nervous system doesn't agree on that yet, because it's not going to agree on something so quick. You still want to check your phone all the time. You still want to just see what they may be doing. I'm not doing anything, but I'm just seeing. You still want to control, and you might logically know that you need to let go, but something emotionally is gripping you, and that is your body, because it has memorized being attached for so long. And this is where your higher awareness has to catch yourself in the pattern over and over again. Every time you have to catch yourself. It's frustrating, I know, but it is a part of the process, part of rewiring your brain. It's your body still operating from that old fear. So be kind to yourself in this stage, but you need to catch yourself almost every time that you try and go back to your old pattern of being attached. And then when you do this, of course, comes the number 3, which is the discomfort, because anything that you do that is away from normal will give you discomfort, right? This is when you start exercising suddenly and you're so uncomfortable because you don't do this, or when you are trying to not care about a text message, but you're so uncomfortable because you've been doing that your whole life. And so in this stage, this is where you've stopped reacting now, but you're still feeling it. It's still there. You're not texting, you're not chasing, you're not even looking at your phone anymore, you're not refreshing your emails, but you're sitting with that heavy, low, empty feeling, like something is missing, because truly something is missing. All the time that you wasted in your life being attached and doing these things are now filled with emptiness. And that's such a beautiful thing, because in this emptiness you can actually create. But in the starting, your body really feels uncomfortable because it's so empty. It doesn't have to think about that message. It doesn't have to think about that number. It doesn't have to be attached. It's so empty, but you may not understand that this emptiness is actually going to be your calm and peace in the future. And then this is the space where with your body, your ego will start screaming at you. Like, you will feel uneasy. Be prepared for that. Maybe your ego in form of your mind will come and tell you things like, maybe you're being too distant from people. You're going to be lonely. You're going to end up without that person. Maybe they've moved on, or maybe you're just being lazy. You're not working on your goals. There's so many things the ego will come and tell you. And this is the hardest stage to just sit through and just navigate and just monitor but not do anything, because everything in you wants to do something. But this stage is where actual rewiring will begin. And then comes my favorite stage, which is the soft surrender stage. Once you've passed all of these, one day you'll wake up and it's a little easier. You still care. I'm not saying you don't. You still care about the message, but it's not gripping your throat so hard. You're like, okay, you still want it, but you're not waiting by the door for whatever's coming for you. You're present again. You're breathing again. It's easier to be in the now than in the past or in the future. And something in you starts whispering that maybe I'll be okay either way, and I would love for it to come or I would love for it not to come. Whatever the universe has to decide, I'm okay. And that is the true beginning. And if you catch that, it's so beautiful, because that's the true beginning of being detached. And it's not because you don't want that thing, but because you know that you'll be fine with it or without it. So you're in this sense of energetically, if it's good for me, it'll come. If it's not, it's okay. And this is where the peace will enter. This is where the emptiness will feel like calm and peace, where you can do things that truly matter to you and create. And that's when your power returns back into yourself, then other than what your business or people or anyone does to you. And so the last stage is the return to self state, because after you go through such a huge process, you return back to yourself. Your energy will shift because you have so much free time in your mind, not your life, but in your mind. You start doing things for you again, not to manifest something or to prove something, but you take care of yourself, your body, because you want to feel good. You pour into your work because that just excites you. You're not attached to the outcome. You just want to do it for the process, right? You want to do it for the present. You say no without feeling guilt, and then you'll create without seeking any validation, because you're just having fun actually doing it. You're detached from the outcome. And then that's when life will start moving again. Your opportunities will return to you. People will notice, and more importantly, you'll feel whole again. And you have this space to genuinely create whatever you want and attract, manifest whatever you want. And over time, when you're journaling or when you're just sitting and meditating or thinking, this is the final and most beautiful stage. It's when you look back and think that I really thought I needed that then and there, but now I'm here. And I don't care anymore if I got it or no. But in a quiet and grounded way, you can be like, I trust myself now. And you realize that detachment changed everything for you. Detachment didn't mean losing. It just meant returning to yourself, having fun with life. And then genuinely, you'll be like, I attracted everything I wanted. Indirectly, I didn't know I would attract it as well. And somehow everything will start falling into place from there. That's when you reflect. So if you clicked on this video because you're feeling that pure grip of attachment now, and that tension, that ache of wanting something so badly that it's making you miserable, just know this, that detachment is about doing your part in this. Go through all of these stages and then surrendering the rest. You will go through these stages and reach the reflection. I promise you. It's hard, I know. It's uncomfortable, but it's so beautiful. It's one of the most peaceful places you will ever be as a human, and one of the most happy and joyous places you can be in your life, because the moment that you stop attaching your worth to what happens externally, you go into a creation process where whatever you want is kind of, you can visualize it and you get it, because you're not attaching your worth to that. You're not radiating a sense of lack. You're coming from a wholeness, and so you get more things that make you feel like that. And the moment you stop gripping so tightly that your whole nervous system is tired, and that's when something will shift. That's when your energy will start moving clean. That's when your life will start moving with you or without you. Either way, remember that you're still okay. Learn to be detached, and that, I'm telling you, is the real power. I hope you enjoyed this short little video. I just wanted to put out the power of detachment out there and the stages that you'll go through. And I really want you to know that this is totally possible. It's possible for you to change, possible for you to be happy and detached. And I'll see you in the next one.